Vimal sir?
Yeah,
Yes, the stream is live on YouTube. You can start the
all
session.
right, all right. So, I hope that you have started recording. It is
Yes,
reflected on
yes.
my screen.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So before we get started, just have a little housekeeping. Request you to put all your mics off. You may switch off your video in case of network issues. Also, I request not to flood the chat box with good evening, hello, and introduction messages, as many important information might be lost in between. Your active participation is important throughout the session. If you have any question or query related to the presentation of the speaker, you can put in chat box, or you may unmute once the presentation is finished and can ask the question. Once again, we would like to remind you that this session is being recorded, and we are live on YouTube. So good evening everyone, I am Dr. Vimal Verma, Assistant Professor, BBD University, Lucknow. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our Chief Patron, Mrs. Alka Das Gupta, Honorable Chairperson, BBD Group. Patron, Mr. Viraj Sagar Das, Honorable President, BBD Group. Ms. Sonakshi Das, Honorable Vice President, BBD University. Professor Dr. A.K. Mittal, Vice Chancellor, BBD University, Lucknow, for providing me an opportunity to organize this international webinar. I'm also thankful to Dr. Sushil Pandey, Dean School of Management, BBD University, to entrust responsibility and guidance to organize this webinar. On behalf of entire BBDU fraternity, I welcome everyone present in this session and all those who are connected with us through YouTube Live. We feel privileged to welcome our international participants in today's webinar, like from Oman and all, on the topic how to get your research published in an academic journal. So thank you for joining us. Today we have our eminent speaker with us, Professor Dr. Norbert Minus. Dr. Norbert, we feel privileged to have you in this webinar as an eminent speaker. So little bit introduction, you can say about Dr. Norbert. Dr. Norbert is Professor of Business Administration at PHWT University in Germany. His specialty areas are marketing, innovation management, and entrepreneurship. He is expert in field of the economics of population aging with focus on marketing to aging consumers. He has published in domain of the economics of population aging, and he has more than 70 book chapters, books, papers under his credit. He has been invited as a speaker at various international conferences and scientific meetings, amongst others, USA, Brazil, and Spain. He is an expert on various committees, amongst others, to German ministries and on media, television, radio, print. He is co-organizer of numerous academic events, amongst other IGC International Gerontology Colloquium, International Network of Contacts. He is a visiting research fellow at several leading universities, amongst others, Stanford and Oxford. Last but not least, that is, he is a Fulbright scholar as well as RSA fellow, Royal Society of Arts. So this is all about Professor Dr. I can say Norbert. So Norbert, over to you. Hello.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Dr. Vimal?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Can we start with my presentation?
Yes, sir. I hope your presentation is visible right now on the screen.
Okay, it's visible for me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
And
Okay.
Vimal sir, is the presentation is visible for you also?
Yeah, it is visible. It is clear.
Okay. And now it is a full screen presentation. Is it visible to everybody?
Yes, full screen presentation.
Yes. So, sir, Dr. Norbert, please give me instructions. Whenever you say next, I'll just move forward with the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Ritu.
Yes.
first of all, namaste and good afternoon all together. Yes, my name is Norbert Meiners, and I welcome you to my presentation, how to get your research published in an academic journal. I feel very honored to be able to give this international webinar at your great university. Thanks again. In particular, thank you my good friend Dr. Vimal Verma. He is a good friend of mine from the Oxford Institute of Population Aging. Thank you for inviting me. So, next, please. So I don't have to make a big introduction because Dr. Verma did it, so we can go to the next slide, please. So what is the aim and the content of my presentation today? The aim is I want to give you explanation and tips and hints for publishing of scientific papers in an academic journal. So, and I use the following content. First, I want to declare what we do, what we understand by scientific publishing, and then why publishing, the question why publishing. And then I want to say, how do I start writing? So planning a text is the next point. To select suitable journals for publication is a further point. I want to explain 4 principles of comprehensibility and other useful rules. The next point is how to structure a text. The next point is how to select a journal, a good journal for my paper. And last but not least, very important point, the communication with the editor. And I want to end my presentation with a short summary. And yes, my first point is, and next please, what do we understand by scientific publishing? Scientific or academic publishing is a process of contributing the results of one's research into literature, which often requires a peer review process. This is for quality. So, and scientific publication, or simply called a paper, is a written scientific work by one or more authors whose publication is planned or has already been published by a scientific publisher. This is important to understand what scientific publishing is, what we understand by scientific publishing. Next. So, papers can be categorized into different types. So, and the most important type is the original article. Original articles provide new information from original research, usually supported by statistics. That is the most important thing and the most important type when we talk about scientific publishing. But on the other hand, we have case reports, for example, about unique events that researchers read to obtain information on the subject. Then we have, for example, technical notes. Technical notes are a description of a technique or piece of equipment that has been modified from an exciting one to be new or more effective. We also have pictorial essays. These are series of high-quality images published for teaching purposes. We also have reviews, detailed analysis of recent developments on the topic, or commentaries. These are short summaries of an author's personal experience. We have also letter to the editors. That means communication directed to the editor of an article to ask questions or to provide a constructive criticism. So these are all different types of scientific publishing. So, and the most important is indeed the original article. Next. So, the most important question is why publishing? And Michael Faraday, he is a very famous British scientist. He already emphasizes over 150 years ago, worked, finished, and now, most important, published. So what are the reasons for publishing? The first reason for publishing is articles are read. So, articles are also evaluated by others. Articles find their way into other articles. Articles are the basis of scientific discourse. That is very important because the science society is very the discussion between the scientists is very, very important, and the scientific discourse is very important for science. So then we have a technical discussions which are initiated by published works. So further investigations or new research ideas are being suggested, and last but not least, transparency of research is only made possible by publications. These are a few reasons for publishing which Faraday saw 150 years ago. Next. So now I want to publish, but how do I start writing? Because if you want to publish your research, you have to write it down. So I can make the following suggestion. Please answer the following question. First question is, who am I writing for? That means define the target group. I find a quotation that is very interesting. If the reader is to grasp what the writer means, the writer must understand what the reader needs. So that is very important. Define the target group, answer the question who I'm writing for. So the next question you have to answer is, what is written about? Is it an evaluation of data? Is it a case report? I presented the different kinds of research, the scientific research output. So what is written about? And the last question is, and this is also very important, what use should the text have? Is it used to inform the community? Is it a call for action? Is it enable exchange? What is the use of the text? And if you don't find a use, I think it's very difficult to publish your paper. Next. So, planning a text. Many texts of writings are designed for entertainment. I think 98% of texts are designed for entertainment. Scientific writing has a different purpose. So, the purpose of scientific writing is to communicate new scientific findings. So, and scientific writing thus should be as clear, as simple as possible. That is very important. And often details of authors are left out. That is a problem. And these details are often very essential for the reader or for understanding the content. So, for example, what is the motivation behind the work? So, and last but not least, good planning is very, very important before starting writing. For example, I'm working with visualizing my ideas. So I have these different colored cards, and I have these blackboards, and I'm always using all these materials because a good planning is very important for success. Next. So, good texts are understandable texts. Next. The German, go back, please go back, because I want to say something about this quotation. Arthur Schopenhauer, he is a very famous German philosopher. He said 160 years ago, use ordinary words and say unusual things. So that is very interesting quotation, and it suits very good to the headline, good texts are understandable texts. Next. So, I want to show you 4 principles of comprehensibility to improve your text. And the first principle is clarity. So, good text should be very short, not too short, but short. And you should think about the question: is every word really necessary? Often the texts are too long. So the next thing is separate the important from the unimportant. And the correct sentence order creates clarity. That is very important. I also say that to my students. Correct sentences or a sentence order is very important for clarity. So the next principle is simplicity. Write in an understandable language, but not colloquial. Use appropriate formulations without cliches and without filler words. And very important, explain technical or foreign words. So, next. The third principle is the order of the text. That means well articulated, logical organization, common thread, and related sentences. And the fourth and last principle of comprehensibility is concrete examples. Use concrete examples. Examples are very interesting, very, very important. Use questions to think about, and use pictorial language. That means active formulations, appropriate comparisons. That is very important. Next. So I have other useful rules for you. For example, use different beginnings of records. So that makes it more interesting for the reader. Use short and medium sentences alternately, and the maximum is 14 words long sentences. So that is a very good, that is the length, that is okay. No nested sentences, that makes it very difficult to read. Nested sentences are very difficult to read. Avoid nouns, using verbs, that is very good, using verbs, and writing how to speak, only more carefully. So, and it is wise to begin writing the paper while the work is still in progress. Why that? Because this makes the writing easier, since everything is still fresh in your mind. So therefore, begin writing the paper while the work is still in progress. Okay, next. What is a good structure of a text? You know the IMRED structure. This structure is dominant for publishing paper. I think you know these structure. Yes, we have the title, the abstract, the introduction, the methods, the results, discussion, conclusions, and last the literature. Important is that the content must be sorted correctly with the structure. I often read papers where the content didn't fit with the structure. So, and you have really take care that the content is suits to the structure. Next. Okay, and important is making the structure visible. That means, what is a table of contents? Use numberings. Numberings are very helpful. Emphasizes, no more than 3 per page. Use headings and subheadings. Use paragraphs and indents. So, next. A very interesting question is how to select a journal for your paper. So, a lot of students of me are asking ask this question because it's a very tricky to find the answer to that question. How to select a journal for my paper? So, and yes, what is my answer? The first is, well, the question is if there are internal requirements to be considered. Why? Because at the beginning of the publication process, there is maybe the head of the faculty or the head of the research group, and this person, he has his own ideas, and he wants to specify the journals which are suitable for the publication or for the scientific results. So, and that means the first step in selecting a publication organ should therefore be to inquire about the internal guidelines. If there are internal guidelines at your school, at your department, at your university. So, and the next step is, are there internal requirements to be considered? So, and if research results are published in the context of third-party funded project, there are more and more often specifications from the funding bodies. So the funding bodies are telling you which journals are good ones and which are allowed and which not. So these primarily relate to the fee accessibility of results. And some funding bodies now have a mandate that specifies the extent to which the results of funded third-party projects must be made openly accessible. And in general, it is advisable to check the funding conditions of the respective project or the inquiry directly with the funding agent. These are external requirements for you. Next. So, if you are searching for a good journal, there are different ways to search for a magazine. So, and in the following, I list some possibilities, not all possibilities, but some possibilities how you can find relevant journals. And one possibility is DOAJ. I think you will know DOAJ. This lists only those journals that pursue an open access business model in which neither readers nor their institutions are finally burdened. So DOAJ currently lists more than 30,000 open access journals. And you can search for subjects or for other criteria. This is very useful and very good. Next. You can also search in the Web of Science. The Web of Science is the world's most trusted publisher-independent global citation database. Guided by the legacy of Dr. Eugene Garfield, and he is the inventor of the world's first citation index. Web of Science is the most powerful research engine delivering you with best-in-class publication and citation data for confident discovery, access, and assessment. The platform allows you to track ideas across disciplines and time from over 1 billion cited references from over 159 million records. Very, very big. So, next. Then we have Scopus. Scopus is an alternative to the Web of Science in the database, which also records journal articles from various disciplines. Here too, relevant journals can be identified by entering keywords, and in addition, a journal search is offered in which a subject's specified restriction can be made. Here, it is also possible to limit the search to open access journals. This is Scopus. And last but not least, next. we have PubMed. PubMed Central PMC is a freely accessible database containing full-text scientific literature in medicine, biology and related fields. PMC was established by the United Nations Library of Medicine and is funded by the NIH. The number of available articles is 5.7 million and it's growing continuously. So now you have four ways to select a journal for your papers with millions of papers. Next. So select open access publishers or publish with open access program. Open access is very good and often it's for free, and here you see a list of selected open access publishers with a focus of life sciences. We have, for example, De Gruyter Open Access, Elsevier Open Access, Frontiers Open Access, Kaga Open Access, PLOS ONE, Sage, Springer ONE, Taylor and Francis Open Journals, Rayleigh Open Access. This list is for open access publishers, and you can find their magazines, open access magazines, at their web pages. Next. So you will also find robbery magazines and robbery publishers. So be aware. So that is very important to know. Serious scientific publishers are distinguished by the fact that they have research papers submitted for publication review by other researchers. That is very important. And piratical publishers save themselves this time-consuming peer review process and publish the work on their websites at a short notice and without changes. The charge is fee for this. However, some of the renowned scientific publishers also do this. That is a problem. Therefore, it's not always easy for researchers to determine which is a pirate one and which not. So, for example, the emails in which they ask researchers to write an essay seems quite serious. That is the problem. I receive 100 emails per year of different publisher houses, and it's very, very difficult for me to see what is a serious one and what is a robbery magazine or a robbery publisher. Next. Another point is some fake journals really have a long history. So, and were also once renowned and only later threw scientific standards overboard. That is their history, and that makes the things more difficult. So, in addition, the fictitious publishers often bear erroneous names, refinements of the recognized publisher houses, so they are very close to their names. And the deception sometimes even goes so far that the fake journals adorn themselves with the names of well-known researchers. So that is a big problem too, who are called editors even though they know nothing about their dubious luck. As a rule, they were not asked for permission. So, and that is a big, big problem too. Next. How to select a journal? Selection of the right publication medium. The choice of publication medium should always be a well-considered and a well-informed decision. Scientists and scholars can use the online portal. I'm not sure if you know these portals. Think, Check and Submit, which is the result of a joint initiative of various publishers and institutions as a concrete aid. This portal offers a checklist with which the seriousness of a scientific journal can be checked. This checklist is very interesting. So, and the following are some of the test criteria listed for a particular journal. Next. So, test criteria. These are interesting questions. Do you or your colleagues know the journal? Have you read articles in the journal or in the past? Can you easily find the most recent articles in the journal? Can you easily identify the publisher? Is the publisher's name clearly indicated on the journal's homepage? Can you contact the publisher by phone, or can you contact him by email or mail? Does the journal clearly state its peer review process? Is the information provided realistically for the duration of the peer review process? Next. Further criteria are there comprehensive submissions or author guidelines for preparing the manuscript for submission? Is it clear what costs will be incurred? Does the journal's website explain what fees will be charged for and when they will be invoiced? Is the editorial board listed? Have you ever heard of the members of the editorial board? And do the members of the board list the activities for the magazine on their own website? So, and does the magazine have an ISSN? These are interesting questions you can ask yourself, and you can ask these as a filter. So, and if you can't ask these questions, believe me, it is not a very serious journal. Next. So, another possibility for scholars to inform themselves online about the quality of papers and publishers and journals based on the numerous criteria is offered by the US-American platform Journal Evaluation Tool of the William Hannon Library of Lyon Marymount University and Lyon Law School. In case of doubt, it is always advisable to consult with experienced colleagues or mentors. This is another very good way to evaluate the quality of a publishing house or a journal. The journal evaluation tool of this university. Next. So, and now a very important topic, communication with the editor. Submissions of a paper involves communication with the journal editor. I think that is clear. Queries, submission letters, responses to critics and questions should have a professional tone. That is very important. As these documents are prepared, awareness of the roles and responsibilities of editors is helpful to know. And editors select content, oversee the editorial office, manage the peer review for accurate and fair appraisal of submissions, and ensure the integrity of the scientific record. These responsibilities are the foundation for concerns that editors raise in correspondence. Next. So, and many editors like to receive queries before submission because they allow them to provide development feedback to authors and plan for peer review. That means queries should include a proposed title for a paper, the author, and a structured abstract. Questions often arise during the review of the manuscript, so editors query authors to obtain relevant information. And the query from the editor should be answered in a straightforward manner, so that questions can be answered and issues can be resolved. Next. So, at the end of my short presentation, I want to give a short summary. The first point is publishing is vital for the scientific discourse. The next point is good planning is important before start writing. The next point is scientific writing should be as clear, as simple as possible. Remember the 4 principles of comprehensibility. Next point is there are different ways to select suitable journals for a publication. Remember DOAJ, Scopus, etc. The choice of publication medium should always be a well-considered and informed decision, and beware of fake journals. And last but not least, communication with the editor is very important, particularly before the submission. Next. So, and now I want to thank you very much for your attention, and I want to finish with the last quotation which I have found. Good scientific writing is not a matter of life and death, it's much more serious than that. Thank you very much for your attention. So, if you have questions, you can ask them now.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Sir, this is Ritu Singh, and I have a question. How to relate the study, how to relate the research work with a management research work with life sciences? Is there any example how to relate a management research work with life sciences, or maybe some behavioral sciences, and by using these rules and regulations which you just provided us during the presentations?
My research focus on life sciences, so therefore I don't have the broad knowledge of all sciences and to publish in all sciences, but for example the structure of papers, they are in general, and therefore a lot of rules and hints you can use in every kind of science. So, and think about the private publishing houses. I'm sure that these publishing houses not focused on papers from life sciences. So therefore, I think we can use a lot of these rules in general, and they are not limited to the life sciences.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sir, there is another question from Ayushi Agarwal here as a participant. She is a participant here, and she has asked a question: what is predatory journal? Can you explain that, please?
What it is, please? Can you repeat it?
The question is, what is predatory journal? Predatory, P-R-E-D-A-T-O-R-Y, predatory journals, like predators. We use the word predators.
Yes, there are different kinds of journals. So you have we have different levels, A, B, C level journals, and then we have these fake journals. And I know that it's very difficult to publish in these A-level journals, and you have to have connections to the editor, and that makes things easier. But beware of these other journals, and it's not very easy to find to make it clear what is a good one and what is a different one. And yes, and that is the main question. Can you see it? And if not, what are the criteria for these better ones? So, and these quoted journals are the better ones. So, and I gave you some criteria to find the better ones with these questions, and hopefully you will don't find these pirate journals.
So over to you, Vimal sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I put my question right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, as we Indians generally before going public, before getting our work published, we generally get it reviewed by our teacher or someone expert of that particular field.
Yes.
In case if like I have submitted my paper and I have received back after with some review points repeatedly
Yes.
3 times it has been done. Now
Yes.
I
Yeah.
want to change. I don't want to submit it again to the same journal because repeatedly they are giving me some changes. Is it
Yeah.
justified? I mean, it is okay. Can I now submit to some other publication and shift to some other one?
Yes, but then you have to quit. You can't. You're not allowed to submit your papers to different journals at the same time. Then you have to send a short letter to the editor and send him the manager. You quit your journal and your paper and. Yeah, and you can say you're not agree with the process or something else if you're really not happy with the review process. So and then you are allowed to submit it at another journal.
Okay, I need to take permission first so that I can submit it to some other publications.
I'm not
Okay.
sure if you need a permission, but
To inform
I
at
can.
least.
Yes, and please write it down and send it by, so then you have the proof of that. Yeah.
Okay, something in documentation. I mean, in written I should
Yes,
have.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes,
Thank
for
you.
your document. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Further questions?
Sir, there's another question. The two people asked the question that is almost same. Dr. Ritesh Agarwal asked to please elaborate some details about Scopus journals, and also Mr. Sunil Kumar asked is how should we write a quality paper that will get published in Scopus. So please elaborate on this point.
Yes, I try to give you some hints how to write a good paper in general. So that is a very, my presentation was a very broad one. So, and you have to specify it for your single topic. So, and I try to explain which questions you have to answer and what the structure is. And if you follow these hints, and there are a lot of books about writing, scientific writing, and a million hints you can use also. But if you these my hints are the basic hints. So, and the basic the basic quality aspects. So, and if you follow these aspects, the chance to publish your or to get your paper published in one of a good journal or publishing house is bigger, is better than if you don't care about that. So, and therefore my suggestion, take these hints and try to follow them and answer these questions and search for good journals. And really another hint, for example, is try to get a journal which is really near to your topic. I have told you that there are hundreds and thousands of different journals, for example, in business and administration. So, and if I have a special topic, for example, quality management for nursing homes, so then try to find a journal with the aspect quality management in the healthcare sector, for example. So, and try to find this journal who is specialized on these topics, then the chance to get your paper published in this journal is much bigger than if you try to submit your paper in the Harvard Business Review, which also publish business administration cases and papers, but the chance to get insight, to get published in this broad medium is less high than if you choose a very special journal which has a strong relation, which is very strong connected to your special to your special topic.
Okay. So there's another question. Another question by Mr. Suresh Nakka. He has asked to please explain the significance of H index in publishing a paper.
Of which index?
H,
what is the index?
H index. H index in publishing a paper.
Okay. Can you explain what does it mean? What is that? H. What is that?
He's asking to explain the significance and importance of H index in publishing a paper. H index is some criteria while publishing a paper. H. He has simply wrote the word H here.
Maybe we have another word here in Europe for that, because I'm not sure if I'm able to answer this question, because I haven't heard these words, these criteria. Can you explain it by further 2 sentences?
Mr. Suresh Nakka, I request you to please come on audio and explain your question further. Mr. Suresh Nakka.
Very good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
hello.
Professor. I mean to ask H index. H is alphabet H, which is pertaining to the value of publication or author's weightage with respect to publication. Okay. I don't know how it is calculated. Yeah. So I want some what is significance on my paper's weightage?
Yes, this is very, the indexing of papers is very tricky, and a lot of the publishing houses often make a secret what is the real index. And for example, I have no idea. I have a Google index, and I have no idea how they are creating these index, and I have no idea why the Harvard Business Review, for example, is an A-level journal, and why other journals are B or C level, because this indexing is very tricky and a very secret and hidden topic, and therefore I know that we have these A-level journals and B-level journals, and that it's better to publish in A-level journals than in B or C-level journals, but I have no idea how they create and how they build these indexes, and therefore I have no idea how my own index is created, for example, by Google, by Google Scholar, or by other indexing journals, index journals. So therefore, I don't know. I can't explain, and I don't know how you
that's
can.
all right, Professor.
How you can push
I will
it.
search in Google then. So kind of you. Thank you.
Okay.
Then, sir, there is a next question. Mr. Sunil Kumar has asked how we access the Harvard Business Review Journal. What is the procedure to access the Harvard Business Review journals?
Yes, that is what I have learned about that is, for example, I have told you that you have to give your complete name and your university and your country, so at the beginning of the communication. And I've spent some time at Stanford University and yes, and I was able to show behind their walls, and America is that big, and they have a lot of universities. So, and there's a common saying for other universities which are not located in America. They always say, not to Oxford University or Cambridge, but to a lot of universities, to my university also. They call them Mickey Mouse universities. You know, Mickey Mouse from Walt Disney. So, and the first thing an editor from Harvard Business Review he's looking for your university. So, and then yes, the editor he has his own network and his own colleagues. And for example, he is from Harvard, and another colleague is from Stanford, and so, and that is a strong network, and the editor is the first person, and this is the firewall, and he will decide if they will put your paper into the review process or not. So, and for me, yes, that is my decision. It is very difficult to publish in American journals, so to get in, and therefore maybe it's better to try it in another journal, not in an American journal, and then you have published it, then to wait for answer, and then you wait for half a year or for 1 year, and then they say, oh, it's not good enough, and then your data is too old, and then you are not able to submit it everywhere else. So maybe yes, it's my own. I have no idea of my own meaning, but my own opinion. But it is, yeah, it's very for foreigners, not American people. It is very difficult to publish in a good American journal. So, and that is, yes, that is the first step. So you have to the editor is the first firewall, and if he don't know you, if he doesn't know your university and you are not from America, so that is very difficult to get inside.
Okay. And so there is another question by Shiva saying that how the impact factor is valuable and why it is important. What is the importance and significance of impact factor while publishing a paper? Why it is so important? Why it is so required for the paper?
Yeah, the impact factor is we talked about A-level journals and B-level journals, and this is related to the impact factor. And A-level journals, they have a high impact factor, and B-level journals have a lower impact factor. So, and these impact factors, they are, yes, that is not clear how they, for a lot of journals, it's not clear how they create their impact factor. For sometimes I have the feeling that they're just saying our impact factor is that and that high. So, and there is in the community, there's a discussion that all these good journals, they should make it clearer, and yes, and yes, have to explain how they create these impact factor. But a lot of journals, they don't follow these queries, and they say no, you have to trust us, and our impact factor is that high, and so. And if they have a higher impact factor, so they have the chance to get an A-level journal. So, and then for you, why is it important? If you are, if you have published your paper in an A-level journal with a high impact factor, the whole scientific community say, oh wow, that is very good, because these scientists was able to do research on a very high level, so, and have published a paper in that very well-known journal. But if these impact factor is really that high? Who knows? Who knows? And you can ask the editor, please explain how do you get to that result? Why your journal have this impact factor? And you won't get an answer, not in general, but often. So, and therefore they're a bit afraid of telling you how they will find, how they create these impact factor. So, but in the scientific community, this impact factor is so big and so important, and therefore also the pirate journals and these pirate publishing houses created impact factors, and they tell us, oh, our journal have a very high impact factor, and you can push your impact factor because there are systems how to push the impact factor. For example, you can publish a paper with your own, and you make quotations about your own research. So, and in your reference you put 10 of your own papers. So, and the journals also can do that, and ask you to put journals inside your work with their from their publishing houses. So, and that is I think that is bad behavior, and so they can push their impact factor. And it's a broad discussion in the scientific community how important this impact factor really is. So, but it is important, but how important it really is.
Okay, thank you, sir. And sir, there are a number of people who are asking the same question, and also Ms. Shiva Singh also asked another question to please mention and please repeat the points for the process of identifying fake journals. This question is asked by a number of people. They have requested you to please explain the points of how to identify fake journals. Please explain
Okay,
please explain that
can
point
we-
again. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can we go back into my presentation?
Yes, sir. Sir, your presentation is visible. I think right now the aim and content page
Yeah.
is visible right now.
Okay, can you go back?
Okay. On which page we need to go, sir?
Yeah, go on.
Wishing, want to publish, planning a test, good
Yeah,
text.
go. Go. So stop
Yes,
here.
yes, sir.
So, as I understand, you are asking me how I can select a good journal from a bad or robbery journal. So, and I told you, yeah, first of all, it is not very clear. If you received an email from a publishing house, it is not very clear on the first view if it's a serious publishing house or not. Why? Because the name of the publishing houses are very near to the names to the robbery publishers. So, and that makes the things very difficult. So, and therefore, yes, you have to check the name. So, and then you have to try to send an email. That is very easy. Send an email to the editor, and then you will see if he will answer or not. Check the people. This editorial staff. Check them by the name. Try to find out if they are really existing. So, and who's the editor-in-chief, and from which university is the editor-of-chief, and that is, for example, the next page, for example.
Yes, sir.
So, and that is, for example, very interesting. If there are the rules of the review process are they clear? Do they offer a clear statement of their review process? For example, if they offer you a review process within 10 days, for example, that is not serious. That is not serious because a good journal will not make a review process, a good review process within 7 or 10 days. And if they offer you a review process, you know exactly, okay, that is a robbery magazine or a robbery publisher. Next, please. Maybe the next, please, then we can think, check, submit. There we have some criteria. I asked you some questions, or you can ask yourself some questions about the paper, and maybe I can repeat some of them. Can you easily identify the publisher? So we have the name of the journal, and the name of the journal sounds very good, and maybe you think, oh, I know this journal. So maybe not, maybe. So who's the publisher? Who's the publisher of this journal? Can you easily identify the publisher? So why, if you're not able to identify it easily, so why? Why is that? Why the publisher want to be secret? So, and send him an email. Send the publisher an email. Try to phone him. Try to get in touch. So, and ask questions about, if you're not sure, ask questions about the review process. So, in general, they will not answer you because they say, oh, we can't say, we can't explain it, and you will not understand, and all these stuff. So, and that is, yes, that try to contact them. And next, please, next criteria. Can you, yeah, okay. Who's the members of the editorial board? So, try to find out if these people are really existed. So, and maybe you will find people from, I have no idea from which universities, and they are not existing. So these people are these are fake names. So try to find out, if you read a name, so try to Google it and find if this person is really existing, and then try to find out if he is on the editorial board of one paper, of one journal, or of 100 journals. So, because it's not serious to be on the editorial board of 100 journals. So, and these pirate papers and publishing houses, they in general they use the same names. So, and yes, and very good. Does the magazine have an ISSN? But today a lot of also pirate papers have an ISSN. Okay.
So this was the last question, and further no questions are asked by the people. So I would request Vimal sir to take over the session. Over to you, Vimal sir.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Ritu. Again, I request if any of the participants want to ask any question to Dr. Norbert regarding the publication and all, then you are welcome. Else I can finish this webinar. So again, I request if anybody has any question, please.
May I
you
ask
can
a question,
unmute
sir?
and you can
Yes,
ask
sir.
question.
Professor Vimal, may I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome.
Good evening, Norbert. I am Dr. Sasikumar from Geetham University. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm
Good evening.
I'm following the presentation. My small doubt is about the category of academic journals. Usually, people refer about the top priority journals or academy related journals. So, what exactly the basis they select a topic for publication, like in the academic journals?
The basic, please. What is? Can you?
What may be the basic criteria they look when a paper submitted for academy related journals, academy of management journals?
Okay.
Because people will say very broadly about the idea like novelty, but that's an abstract way. But what exactly that's not any, we have any limited scenario in that. So in what way we need to understand this?
Yes. Everyone wants to find their papers published. So, and we have, I told you that we have a broad field of possibilities. So, and we have these criteria, A level, B level, we have these impact factors. So, and that is very important. So, but if you want to see your research results published, then that is my point of view. Then the first thing I can say to you is really find a good journal, not a A-level journal, not a B-level journal, but a good journal which is really strong connected to your topic. So, and if you are writing about a special topic, not a very broad field, I'm sure you will find a journal which is very, very strong connected to your topic. For example, a couple of months ago, I did some research about the economic impact of basketball in Germany. So, and that is a very special topic. I did it with my students together. So, and we want to publish these results. So, and then I can search for sport magazine, good journals, sport journals. So I can search for business administration journals. So, and what did we do? So we are searching in these databases with the topic sport, basketball, economic power, economic impact. So, and we found five journals with topics to basketball, impact, and what I told you. So, and then I sent an email with an abstract to the editors of these five journals. And it was not important for me if these journals are A-level journals or B-level journals. That is not very important for me. So, and then I sent an email with the abstract to these five editors, and from 4 editors I received a reply, and they told me, oh, they are very interested in our research, and they are looking for our results, and they will put it into the review process. So, and that is a big success for me, because now I have the opportunity to send my paper to 4 editors. And one of these editors, he told me, because I told you the name of the university, he said, oh, you are from North Germany, from Lower Saxony, and your research about your basketball team, he had spent a kind of years in my area, and he knows this basketball team very well. So suddenly there was a connection. So, and between my university and my location and him. So, and for me, it's not necessary if I'm able to publish it in an A or B level journal. I want to see it published in a good journal. And yes, and the first criteria, the most important criteria for me, is that there's a strong connection between my research and a possible journal or possible magazine. So, and and then I can check these magazine if this magazine is a good one. That means is a serious one, or is it maybe is it a pirate one. But that is for me the most important criteria. And then if I send the editor an email and he replied within 2 weeks, everything is okay, everything is fine. I can't expect him to reply within 2 days. So I give him 2 weeks, and within these 2 weeks for reply. And the last one, he didn't reply. So maybe it's a pirate journal. I have no idea. Maybe it's a pirate journal. So, and thanks God that he did not reply, because I found 4 good journals, and I have 1 paper, and now I can try, and now I can choose which journal I really want to take. Hopefully that that is okay for you, my answer.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Norbert, hello, Norbert.
Yes. Hello, Kimara.
I'm saying that here in India, I can say the UGC is following or I can say apex body in academics, which is, you can say, controlling all the universities. They are expecting us to publish in ABDC or Scopus, right? That is why you are getting a lot of questions related to good quality journals, how to select good journals. Okay, maybe in Europe it is ABS, right? But here we are, I can say, following this particular ABDC system, Australian Business Deans Council, I can say.
I know this
ranking system, right?
Yes, I know this ranking system very well, but in
yeah,
Europe,
yeah, it has become.
It's a big discussion.
Yeah.
So there's a big discussion.
Any further
with these,
questions from anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
I know these ranking, and but in Europe there's a big discussion. In Germany, for example, we have habilitation. That is not common. That is only common in 7 or 8 countries all over the world. So a habilitation means that it's a second PhD thesis. So, and I did it in Austria. I'm originally from Germany, and I did my habilitation. It is I have to work 5 years on these habilitation thesis, and at this university at that time they are asking for these. I have to collect points. So, and then for a A-level journal, they gave me more points than for a B-level journal, and they expected me to publish 2 papers in a B-level journal. And these universities, they have, I told you about this internal requirement. So, and this university where I did my habilitation, they had a list and a committee with journals, and this committee was searching for good journals. So, and I told you we have 1.5 million journals. So, and who is this committee able to select a good journal in my area? So what did I said, okay, my area is the special one. So, and I make suggestions, and I say, okay, this journal is a very good one. So, new journals, for example, they don't have an impact factor, because you receive an impact factor after 5 years. So, and sometimes one time I had a very good journal, but it was a new one, started 3 years ago. But I was able to convince the committee that this journal is a good one. So, and therefore it's a big discussion if it's really suitable to use these impact factors and these rankings. And I'm sure that in a couple of years we have a big discussion about that also in India, because here in Germany and also in Europe we have a big discussion about that.
Norbert, one more question I have. A lot of research scholars, they have problem with how to plan their research, how to explore what is unexplored yet, right? So they are not able to locate what to explore, right? Can you guide them that what kind of I can say papers they should look for in order to get you can say novelty in research? As you said that you are just can say researching on economic impact of basketball or like that. So how to reach to a point or to you can say how to program the research that something is unexplored and we can go ahead.
Uh, First of all, I am always searching for research gaps. So that means if you're an expert in a field, you know what kind, which field in your research area is the research is very well done, and in which area you have gaps. And I'm always searching for research gaps. So therefore, before I start to set up a new research study, I make a big invest in asking the questions if there is really a gap, and is this gap big enough to publish a paper or not? Because we are all want to publish papers. We all want to see our research results published. So and therefore, if there is a gap, a good gap, a broad gap, so it's easier to publish, to find your paper published if there is no gap. So and therefore, I can suggest you to search for research gaps in your special field. So and maybe the gap is in your country, maybe not in the international science society, but maybe there's a research question which is not answered in your country. So therefore you can find research gaps on a lower level, maybe in your area of the country. So but the chance to see your paper published is bigger if you are able to answer a question within a research gap, as this question is discussed 1,000 times. So that is the first step, that I'm always searching until today for research gaps. So then you start, then you searching for money and all this other stuff, and then you start do your research, collecting data. So and then start writing, and then searching for the right paper. So and that is my next research, my next hit, because yes, if you're choosing the wrong one, Fimal, you know exactly. We waited 8 or 10 months for the answer of a journal. So and then they told us it's not good enough after 10 months.
Yeah.
So and that is yes. And for a young academic, it's a disaster. So waiting 10 months, for me it's not that big problem, because I have 70 paper published in books and also. But for a young academic who's waiting for the results, and he has to write 5 papers for his PhD. For example, it's a disaster. So and therefore the right journal is very important to find the right journal. So and that is my suggestion: searching for a research gap, and searching for a journal which is very close to your research, and then you can publish your research very fast.
Okay. Any further question, or shall I end the webinar? Any further question, anyone? I hope so that nobody has can say question. All the people have asked, and we should can say move towards finishing of the webinar. So Dr. Norbert, I'm very thankful to you for your precious time, for I can say you can say your presentation, your beautiful presentation, your guidance, and I hope so that all the participants, they will be, you can say, benefited by your guidelines while selecting the paper, while, you can say, planning for their research, right? So thanks a lot. I further thank to all participants for, I can say, participating in the webinar, and for their good questions. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Fimal. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure for me to make this webinar for you. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you, Ritu, Mrs. Ritu, for your technical support. That was very helpful, very useful. Thank you very much. And
Yes, sir. Welcome,
good
sir.
night.
Good night, sir.
Good night, yeah.
Good night, sir.
Thanks a lot. Sir, thanks a lot.
Take care and stay healthy.
Okay.
Same to you, sir.